All right, Oval Fan Season 3, Episode 4, In Need of Protection, because good Lord, all the people who are getting it on in this episode, they sure as hell needed protection. Now, let me just say up front, I did not think this was a bad episode. I just know that last night I saw on Twitter, people were talking, I checked my DMs, and people were like, yo man, this episode was great, it was amazing. It was middle of the road for me. It was kind of mid-tier. It was not horrible. It was not horrible. I think, the first two episodes of this season were bad. Episode 3 was the best episode. I would probably still put episode 3 above episode 4. But I will say that I enjoyed watching this episode. I really did. There were some character moments that didn't make sense. Either you could chalk it up to either character moments or plot moments that didn't make sense. But overall, 5 out of 10 I feel is a fair score. But I don't really think I have too many discussion or theory videos to talk about, because when you really break it down, I don't really have much to talk about in way of what's happening next. Now, I don't have my hands on the official trailer for next week yet, only the end credit trailer that we got at the end of the episode. Perhaps when watching that promo, I might get some more ideas, but the only quote unquote unanswered questions are, who are the guys that took Max away? Where are they taking him? Why is Donald visiting Dale in the hospital? And, possibly one about the whole Alonzo and Alan thing, but that's it. Everything else is just rinse and repeat of what we've seen time and time again. But I will admit, Richard hitting that joint, damn, funniest part of the episode. All right. So before going further, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe because we are closing in on 190,000 subscribers on the channel. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. All these things will help the channel out as we hopefully reach at least 50% subscriber watch time by the end of November. So let's get into it. So we pick up where we left off, and I believe Griff is the name of the goon Victoria sent over to rough up Alan unless he hits Ellie with the bat. Is no one going to mention how this dude looks just like Jason? I wouldn't say that he shares the same level of resemblance that Jason and River from Ruthless do, but from the haircut to the outfit, it just seems too coincidental. Okay, maybe I do have a theory here. I'm going to throw this out here. I'll do a full video, but I will say this. We know Victoria threatens to have this guy being sent to Alan's apartment over and over until he does what Victoria says. And we know Alan wants to get a gun to protect himself because he says, I want to kill him if you send him back. Given that Griff looks almost exactly the same as Jason, could Jason, in his promised revenge on Alan, come back to the apartment? Alan assumes that it's Griff, and then Alan shoots Jason. Just saying. All right, so in any case, Alan basically says, I ain't no bitch. And Griff is like, look, this is my third job tonight. I'm tired. I want to go home. I just got to rough you up a bit. And then after that, do what the lady says and we good to go. So she also instructed Griff not to mess up Alan's face too bad. Or not mess up his face. It's just a short beating. You take it and that's it. So after being knocked down, Alan grabs a knife. And I'm wondering, is this the same knife that Jason had when he came over to assault Ellie? Because remember, after Jason grabbed that knife, neither Ellie nor Alan picked the knife up to do anything with it. And, I'm just saying, like, you have Jason unconscious, but nobody's going to take that knife and hide it or put it away to make sure he doesn't get it again. So, pulls out a gun, and then Alan's like, you know what, man, come on now. And he gets his ass beaten up, and Griff calls Victoria on the phone. She gets out of bed to go to the bathroom while Hunter's asleep, and she pretty much lays down the law of taking the bat to hit Ellie and he doesn't want to do it because he loves her. But not only that, he doesn't want to do it, domestic violence. And, after getting a kick, Victoria's like, hey, you do it or it's going to get worse for you. So Hunter, he wakes up. Well, he's awake. He's like, he wants to know who Victoria was talking to. She doesn't say anything, goes back to sleep because he's going to figure out what's going on. Same thing happened when she was walking around smiling, and Hunter said, I'm going to figure out what it was. And we know that it was because of Sam. But over at the hospital, Dale wakes up and tells Sharon to go home. It's like, hey, it's nice that you want to stay with me, and because I don't have anybody else, but you've been through a lot just like I have. You need to go get some rest. She says that she'll go over to her sister's house to shower, but she will come back. Mainly because she thinks that this was deliberate. It was intentional. You don't have any security here. So no ifs, ands, or buts. I want to, freshen up and then want to come back. So she also doesn't want to talk to Dale about why she's going to her sister's and not Kareem. So the next morning, Nancy has breakfast ready. Barry comes in. It's like, wait, you're making breakfast? Yeah. After everything that, I'd said to you last night? Well, just because, you're mad at someone doesn't mean you stop loving them. You want to take care of you and your daddy. So he apologizes for the disrespect. And she asks, you been smoking more weed? Yeah. So then Richard comes in and Nancy, is standing there. He says hi to his son, but then Richard, doesn't say hi to Nancy. And, Barry's like, come on, not today, Dad. Come on, say hi. And then he says hi. And then she's like, yeah, I made breakfast. No, I don't need it. I need to get to work after being out all night. So she's like, well, yeah, that's the thing. You're working all night, so you need to have something to eat before you go to work. So Barry, again, come on, Dad. No, have some breakfast. Like, Barry, what's wrong? He takes a sniff of him. Like, you been smoking? Like, that's the only time. How why are you asking if I'm smoking? Barry, that's the only time you all peace and love. So, yeah, that's the thing. I've been smoking. I need to unwind. So I left some in your room, too. You both need to have a hit so you can unwind. And Rick's like, I ain't touching that stuff. And Nancy's like, I got asthma. It's like, well, give it to Dad. So he's just sitting downstairs and he takes his dad's plate. Like, fine, if he ain't going to eat it, I'm going to eat it. All right, so we go over to Priscilla's. I'm going to call her Priscilla's because she doesn't want Sam there. Sam comes in to talk, and she's like, what? I changed the locks. Look, tell me, how do you know Victoria's father? What's going on? Are you CIA? What's happening? He says, well, actually, she says, I could shoot you. I could probably shoot you and get away with it. You really want to do that? This man, again, I feel like this was kind of like the whole Calvin thing on Sisters, like, hey, check in with me, Sabrina, before you see anybody. But then Sabrina walks in on him with another woman. Because Priscilla apparently has some role or position in her job at the White House that Sam doesn't know about, he says he feels betrayed. And I have to say, despite all of my naysay towards the new Priscilla, I was on her side because betray was far and away one of the worst words Sam could have used to describe this situation. Because she's like, wait, have you told me everything about your position in the White House? Yes, I have. What about Lucas Jackson, who we have no idea who this person is? But she knows that Sam didn't tell her everything about that situation. But because she knew that he didn't tell her everything, Sam's like, then you must have a high position if you know what really happened to Lucas Jackson. But regardless, she basically dismisses him, doesn't want to talk about this further. Don't put your hands on me. You don't have the right. And she leaves to go to work. I was under the assumption, based off of everything from like season 1 and season 2, that what goes on at the White House stays at the White House. You're not supposed to talk about or gossip about the White House after you get off work, because there were several times where Priscilla would say it to Jean, like, hey, we can't talk about them. Or Richard is like, Nancy, I can't tell you what's going on. And I understand that Sam and Priscilla are married, but they work at different positions. Like, Priscilla's like, I'm just a chef at the White House. So with Sam being Secret Service, I thought that he wouldn't be able to talk about certain things. It's just like Richard and Nancy. Richard is a butler, but he can't tell Nancy about what's happening at the White House because aren't they like sworn to secrecy or something like that. So I'm very confused here. Like, you could say that, well, Jeremy, they probably know the basics of what their positions are, but when it comes to like Lucas Jackson, for example, yeah, it would make sense that Sam wouldn't be able to tell Priscilla something, because to him, she's just a chef at the White House. So I'm a bit confused by that, but not enough to sit here and wonder about it for like, hey, Jeremy, are you going to do a video on Lucas Jackson? No. We don't know who the hell that is. But, all right, so Richard is getting ready for work, and Nancy flirts with him, just seductively posing by the door, cleavage showing and everything, and he pretty much ignores her until she starts smoking the joint. Nancy, you got asthma. Well, that means I'm not smoking this by myself. And when the last time you had a hit? 96. And then that's when I say that, I was laughing my ass off, because when he finally takes a hit and he goes, damn, he basically like, wait a minute, you been smoking on the regular? You ain't been lying about asthma, huh? No, but I've been smoking again since you just been acting like an ass to me. So essentially from the time Richard found out about the picky situation and they haven't had sex, she's been smoking weed. And you're probably wondering, Jeremy, how has Nancy been smoking weed and Richard not known about it? Well, think of it this way. Richard and Nancy haven't been sleeping in the same room for quite a while, so it makes sense if she had like the window open or something like that, she would be able to unwind without him knowing it. But from there, he mentions how mad he is about the situation, and she's like, no, we ain't gonna talk about that. Nah, not today. And she's like, it's been a while, right? I ain't gonna lie, Nancy, I would have got it on, because she was like, yeah, I would have done it. I ain't gonna front. So after, coming on to him, they start going at it. He throws his shoes off, takes his belt, and that's it. They go onto the sheets. Barry walks in, because at first I was mad, because here we go with the Tyler Perry trope again, like Benny walking in on Hannah and Michael in the haves and the have-nots, and it's like so many times characters don't lock doors or they don't knock before entering a room. But in Barry's case, I actually thought it was funny, because he thought they were fighting, which makes sense to the character, because he's used to Richard and Nancy going at it, and he really just wants them to make peace with each other, because he's like, I've been thinking about Callie and everything, and look, Mom, I know it's your fault that Ruth came over and everything and took her, but I know you were just trying to do the right thing. So yeah, he was just downstairs eating a lot because of his tendencies after smoking that joint, cravings at the smoking the joint. But whatever the hell was going on in the bedroom must have been loud for him to hear it, downstairs. But it was funny. He just walked in, he went out. Richard and Nancy, they chuckled, but they were still in the zone. I know somebody on Twitter, Barry walked in, Richard ain't missed a stroke. I'm like, if y'all don't quit it. But we go over to the hospital, and Kyle walks in and wakes up Dale. He's shocked. And Dale, he's, even though he's laying down, he's putting his foot down, because he wants Kyle to get the hell out of here, because he thinks he has something to do with this. Why did you come to the pharmacy? Basically, not much to say about this scene. I know some people are like, oh, are they trying to show Kyle with a sensitive side? This MFer has killed people. I have no sympathy for Kyle. But basically, I'm afraid for Dale, because Donald said, Kyle, if you go visit him in the hospital, I'll know, and I'll rough him up some more. It's going to be worse for him. But, Kyle's like, I'm going to find out who did this to you, who's behind this, and then he leaves. Dale wants nothing to do with him. He's like, look, things have gotten crazy for me since the first moment I met you. I never want to see you again. Goodbye. Speaking of Donald, he's about to leave to go to work. Him and Lily have a moment where they have a back and forth, because Donald knows Lily was in his office last night. And so, what are you up to today? Oh, I have an appointment. Oh, at the studio? No, to meet up with a hot heterosexual black man who's big. And, they kind of had that back and forth. Oh, why don't you try one of my dresses? I bet you like them. What about with Kyle? No. So he says, you can go in my office if you want to, Lily, but I'll know if you do. And on top of that, you're not going to find anything you need. And if you're looking for any confidential information, you're not going to find it. So, also, when Lily mentioned a big heterosexual man to have sex with, Donald was like, ooh, that sounds fun. He's like, oh no, it wouldn't be fun for you, Donald. And then she sucked on the pin. I ain't going to lie. I'm about to drop my pants right now. I'm like, damn, Lily. Okay. So, it's like, oh, you love me. You enjoy being married to me. Yeah, whatever. So he leaves. And I'm not going to lie. When Donald looked up, I'm like, Lord, is he looking towards the attic? But no, he was looking up towards his office upstairs. So I was like, Lord, does he know? But no. So as soon as Donald leaves, Lily gets up halfway up the stairs, gives a side eye to the door, and she goes to the attic. I ain't gonna lie. I would have waited for Donald to leave the driveway, not leave the door. That's just me. But yeah, we go to the White House, and no, you know what? Let me just talk about this next scene. Lily goes to the attic to see Bobby. She says she's going to her studio, and Bobby's like, I heard from the dining room, so I guess he left the attic to go to the dining room to snoop on or eavesdrop on Donald and Lily, basically saying, look, be careful, your husband's playing mind games with you. And they have a 5-minute quickie. And I literally felt like Tommy from Martin, because as soon as those panties came down to Lily's heels, and we don't see it, but you can guess that she kicked him to the floor, I was thinking, GTD. No. Could you tell us what that means, GTD? Got the draws! That's what I was thinking about. I was like, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right, so we go over to the White House. Alan gets to work, and Alonzo tells him that the First Lady wants to see him now. And she asks Alan if he did what he was instructed to do. She basically saying, oh yeah, I had some ribs this morning. Ellie never came home, and Griff is going to be coming back tonight and every night afterwards if you don't do what you're supposed to do, which is hitting Ellie. He's like, look, you're the First Lady. You can't be condoning domestic violence. I'm not going to do it. And he literally says, look, if you send him over there again, I'm going to kill him. So after that, Victoria just dismisses him, and that's it. But like I said before, something ain't going to go right with that. We have Hunter and Donald in the Oval, and Hunter doesn't give a damn about the American people who actually love and care about him after the assassination attempt. He just wants to know why an 80-year-old man, Victoria's father, isn't reported dead yet. Donald's like, he's a very powerful man, and he basically says what has been said to Hunter multiple times. If your father-in-law dies, or when he dies, all the protection that comes with him is gone, and you're a sitting duck. Hunter doesn't care. In his mind, the person who sent the assassin to kill him was Victoria's father. However, Donald is making the wise choice of, look, I didn't do it because I thought you needed time to cool down. Not to mention, we need to confirm who this person is working for. Here's the part that got me. The gunman got away, even though in episode 1 of season 3, when they were sitting in the Oval, Sam was like, the gunman has been apprehended. And Hunter was like, I want to see him right away. So did they catch the gunman, or did they not catch him? This is just as ridiculous as in Sisters, when in the last episode, Sabrina said that Q and his guys, the people trying to rob the bank, were still on the run, even though the cop who spoke with Maurice and Sabrina said, we have 40 cops with a perimeter. We're going to catch him. I don't know which is stupider. This makes no sense. But regardless, Hunter says he wants the gunman found within an hour. He's going to talk to him. He's going to find out who did it. And then he's going to kill Victoria's father. And then from there, he wants Donald to get Ellie to come see him as soon as she gets to work. She should be in around noon because, like Alan said, she never came home from work. She was working all night, so, obviously she had to sleep in. And when she gets to work, she will be sent to him. Now, Alan is talking with Alonzo in the hallway about a gun for protection. Alonzo like, look, I need to know why, but look, I know a guy who can give you one and everything. And then he says, what are you doing after work? I'm going to see my daughter. Can you come by my apartment? For what, man? Well, I want you to show me how to use it. Okay, fine. And I'm like, Lord, this is not going to end well. So we get to the last scene. Max wakes up in the hotel room. Blakely is gone. He finds a note that says, "We are better off separated. Don't try to find me," which could mean one of two things. Blakely is gone from the series. We'll never see her again. She just up and left because things are too hot. And, you know, her and Max have different ways of dealing with the situation. Or this could be a setup. You know, I mean, could she have set up Max to get arrested? Because that's what happens moments later after he gets on the phone, the hotel phone, to call Bobby. And Bobby's like, "I'm still in the nest." And, you know, he's like, "Wait, do you miss Blakely that much?" You know what? It isn't even like that, man. Come on now. So from there, before the conversation can really get further, he gets arrested. Bobby's still on the line overhearing everything. And, you know, as soon as Max is taken away, because the guys don't answer his question like, "Who are you sent by?" As soon as they get on the phone and say hello, Bobby hangs up. And then that's the end of the episode. But overall, this was an okay episode. Like I said, I didn't despise it. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. Trust and Believe it had its hot, sexy moments. But did I really need to see a Nancy and Richard love scene? No. The joint smoking was enough for me. That was hilarious. Lily and Bobby. Look, people talk about Victoria. People talk about Sharon. People talk about Jean. Mainly me. Lily fine as fuck. I mean, when she sucked that pen, I'm like, oh, Jesus. All right, anyway. Yeah, this was a pretty good episode. Like I said, there really isn't that much to talk about in terms of theories and whatnot. I might have one or two, but that's it. I might have to wait until the promo comes out before I can really dive deep into it. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this episode? And what was your favorite part? What didn't you like? What theories do you have? And with that being said, oh yeah, people online. Does Barry have a job? He mentioned this, I think, last season. Barry doesn't have a traditional job he goes to every day. He's more of a handyman around the, not handy. He does a bunch of odd jobs around the neighborhood, you know, painting houses, you know, planning. He just does handyman stuff. That's pretty much it. Handyman, odd jobs kind of person. That's about it. Because some people, all he do, what he doing? He talking about his daughter. He's smoking weed. What he do? No, that's it. He just does odd jobs around the neighborhood. So make sure you like and subscribe. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.